back to Wellness Wisdom with TNT. I'm Tammy.
And I'm Tamika, and we just thank you for joining us yet another week. And today we are going to talk about taking care of our finances. And we have a special guest today, and we're so excited to have her. We have Tishawa Howard, and she's going to discuss a little bit about finances today with us.
So. Yep, and how we take care of our finances.
Yes, yes.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. So welcome to Tishawa Howard. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was a former IRS agent. I got recruited while I was in college, and I worked there for almost 10 years as a someone to come out and audit your tax returns. And then almost 2 years later, I'm the person to know. Yes. Well, the tax laws have changed quite a bit, so it just depends on what's going on. But after almost 10 years later, I was introduced to finances. As I started learning how money works, I was like, oh man, why didn't we learn this stuff in school? And then I realized at the time that I was going to the senior agents at the job to find out what they were doing for their retirement. But what they was doing, I don't know if that was right for me or not. So it was just like, wow, you have these degrees, you have these good jobs, but no one taught us how to handle our finances. And so that drew me to switch careers. And so now I've been doing financial planning for a little over 20 years.
Wow.
Isn't that awesome? I mean, just being able to handle your finances. And you touched on something, because I have 4 degrees. I just got a certification, but you said you're never taught that in school. And can you elaborate on that? Because I know you have degrees as well.
Yes, I have a bachelor's in accounting, some uppers of that. But then even working for the IRS, I learned all of the tax laws at the time. So you learn all these different things, but not one course said this is how you handle your money, this is how you budget it, this is how you get it to grow. Not one. So I was like, this is crazy. And so I wanted to be the person that help as many people as I can to how money works.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I know that's so true for me. Although like my sister has always been really good with her finances. Like she's a saver. She's really very budget, and she's so good with her finances. Me, I was always the one as kids, like if I had $10 and you didn't have anything and I wanted to go to the candy store, to lunch or something, I'd be like, oh, I have $10, come with me. So if it was in one hand, it was like out the other. Yeah. So, and I brought that right into my adult life and never really had any knowledge or education on, saving your money and why and all. I was just like, definitely.
Right. And talk about like what's the importance of preparing for saving your money, and what we didn't learn. You don't learn that. We learn so I can never understand why we go back to college, to take math, science, and all this stuff over, and why we don't learn these life skills. Yeah. So you could elaborate on that.
Well, I don't know why it's not taught in school, so I cannot speak to that part. But let's talk about the savings though. Savings versus investing. Let's say that. So, because I know you said your sister was very frugal. She knew how to put money away. She done all the right things, right? So, but what if your sister had all of her savings, which was going to be her wealth to live off, was in the savings account or the money market account at the bank, right?
Yeah, I don't know anything about those.
No, I know. I'm just using it, Yeah. So I'm just saying, let's assume that that's what that was. And most money market accounts earn 1%. So let's say she had $100,000 sitting in the bank, and that was going to be what she was going to be able to retire on. Well, 1% goes into 72 times. And so I skipped it. There's a rule called the rule of 72 that says if you take the interest rate you're earning on your investments, divide that into the number 72, that's going to tell you approximately how long it takes for your monies to double. So if she was only earning the 1% in the money market account, it will take 72 years for that 100,000 to double to 200,000. And most likely, if she got up to the 100,000, she's probably, let's say she's in her 50s, right? Let's just call it right at 50. That's what I'm gonna be next month. So maybe I want to sneak that in there.
I was gonna be that.
But she so now, do you expect her to live for 72 years just to wait for it to double one time?
Yeah,
Wow.
that takes.
What's the likelihood of that lasting for her, right?
Yeah.
Versus the person that same 100,000, but they decided to put their money into a mutual fund, but not even an aggressive one. Let's say they use a 6% average mutual fund. Well, 6 goes into 72, 12 times. So 12 years later, now she's 62, that's $200,000. If she didn't touch it another 12 years later, which would have been 74, that whole thing would have doubled to 400,000. So it's just important to know, that's like a simple principle. But who taught us, right? So just knowing where to put your monies for growth, depending on what you want, that's something, we want to make sure we start to tell the people we talk to. And then a budgeting tip. So because somebody mentioned about, the money comes in and the money goes out the door, right?
I'm better now.
You're better now.
My sister really got on me.
Right. But listen, this is why it's so important, because I remember when I did used to work for the government, my mindset, after I paid my bills or whatever, I would go and I would just go on these shopping sprees, and I didn't care what I was spending, because I was like, I'm gonna get paid in 2 more weeks. So I had that mindset, and I had to develop into a different mindset. But one thing that for the person that has a hard time with the miscellaneous bills, okay, because that's really what happens. We have the regular set bills, but then you have the miscellaneous bills. So what you want to do is already budget how much I want my miscellaneous thing. That's one. Okay. Yeah. And of course, we got to make sure that we have an amount also allocated to savings and investments, and you want to pay that as if it was a bill, because you are a bill. Okay. So all that's part of your budget. So let's get to the miscellaneous part. What you can do is let's say I'm only going to spend $100 every 2 weeks on whatever I want. I don't want to be accountable. Don't question me about it. This is my $100. So to stay in budget, you could take the $100 out of your account, put it in an envelope, and every time you go out to spend on yourself, you pull from that envelope. When that envelope gets to 0, what happens?
You can't go out.
You can't do nothing else till you get paid again. Right? And so that just helps you to stay in your budget, because unfortunately what happens when we swipe off those cards, those $2 and $5, they add up so fast, you'll be at $200 every 2 weeks instead of the 100 every 2 weeks. And that's when our budgeting has a challenge.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've experienced it.
Yeah, I think we all have experienced, just going off the budget and saying, let me just do this. And, we want to make sure we get for Christmas, everybody have a Christmas gift. And the same principle can apply to having an envelope for just Christmas presents and all those principles. And it's kind of like a godly principle, because as well as, when Jesus says store up, that money and I forget what it was, the talents and stuff like that. And then the one he went and hid it. That's me. I used to hide it, thinking it wasn't growing.
Like, at least I'll have that.
At least I have that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And that's not good.
I do like the envelope system because a few years ago I did the Dave Ramsey
course,
and that's where I learned the envelope. And I had the little wallet thing with the envelopes in it because I had to be that disciplined. And I am better now. I'm not perfect, but I'm so much better now. But those envelopes, like you said,
helps the process.
Really helped.
Yeah.
It really, really helped.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
So my son, I'm talking about my family, my sister, my son, he's very much into investments and he's learning. He's kind of self-taught through whatever he watches and looks up and things. And he is very much into investing his money and, trying to, I don't understand any of it, but I had him do my 401k for work. Because I don't know what to pick, so he did that for me. And he's trying to convince me because now that I am better and I started myself a little side business, which is doing pretty well. And I have some savings. So he's trying to tell me, begging me to give him $1,000 so he could invest for me. And he's like, Mom, it will grow so much more than in the savings account that you have. And I'm like, no, like I need to keep it there.
Girl, go back and read the Bible. I'm not joking.
Well, what I would say, really quick with stock, if you have stock that, you want to purchase, and you decide to do this with your son, you just have to make a decision that if you lose it all, you're going to be okay. And once you get to that decision, then you could do what you want with your son, because then anything else will be a gain for you.
Yeah. He said, I don't know, like what he invests. Like, I'm not, like, I have no idea of any of it. But he said, just trust me, give it to me and I will put it.
And I speak on that because I'm sure you experience that a lot, Tishawa, is why are people so scared? I think that goes back to the education because people are actually afraid to invest. They're afraid, but we're not afraid to put our money in the savings account. Why are people so afraid? From your
lack of education.
Yeah.
Right.
And just lack of education. And then so when you don't understand something, what do? You back up from it.
Right.
And so because we don't understand investing and the importance and the rule of 72, like I talked about before, you're not going to be drawn to doing it because you don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
But once you start to understand it, then you can start working it little by little. And then if you started teaching that to your kids and your grandkids from when they're babies, they won't grow up with fear of that. That's just part of normal life. But we're just starting to learn these things, and that's why for the most of our population, we are scared of the market.
Yeah,
sure. I definitely agree.
Yeah. And I guess talk about a little bit about exactly what you do, how you help people. Just talk about that and how we can find you or people can find you and stuff like that.
Well, I am I am a financial advisor, and so how can you find me?
Like are you on social media?
On Facebook, Facebook, Instagram, you just look up Tishawa Howard and I'm right there. And then you can message me. And
no
and
scary people.
Right, but you gotta say, hey, I saw you on the show, so please call me, and then I'll message you, and then we'll get you scheduled to meet, and then we go from there on whatever it is that you need help with. Then I help with various types of financial products, and
Okay, I have a question. So years ago, as a broke single mom, that's kind of like has been my adult life as a broke single mom. If a financial advisor came to me and said, this is what I do, I would always be like, well, thanks, but I don't really have any money for you to advise. So,
Good
how
question.
does a person that really doesn't have, any extra, they're basically just living paycheck to paycheck, trying to just pay the bills and put food on the table. How would a financial advisor help a person that feels they have no money to be advised about because they're just trying to get through the month.
Right.
And that happens with some people, but most people have flexible spending that they don't realize. Like I remember how I said the $2 and the $3 they add up. And so what I would do is look at everything where every single dollar goes. And then from there we can figure out if yes, you have nothing extra or you actually have $150 extra. Now, how much of this are we going to be willing to do the right things with? And so first we got to find the money.
Right.
But you find the money by detailing out what comes in and what goes out. And once you find it, then you got to make a commitment as to how much is going to be put aside to do the right things. And then you actually do the right things with your finance.
Yeah. But that comes with actually, you know,
Accountability.
doing the right thing
and you hold people accountable to their goals and visions, right? So you have a plan that you map out so people can see how things are growing or changing for them.
And you kind of like walk like you're their person, you know, kind of like, you know, like for us, we have a health and wellness business. So we walk through with people as they are learning products, taking products, getting healthy and all of that. It's like, it's not just, okay, I'm going to show you this and, you know, this is what you do with your finances. Now go and do that. You actually are with them every step, which that's
yes.
cool. Very cool.
Good.
Yes.
This is good stuff. So
thank you, ladies.
Is there anything else you want to tidbits or anything you want to tell us or?
Nope. Just have an awesome day and make sure you just start the process. Start the process.
That was really good.
That was really, really good stuff. Yeah, I wish I really paid more attention to that type of thing years ago. But you know, all in good timing. All in God's timing.
Exactly. And I mean, even with me, like learning all this stuff, and you know, like I said, you have these degrees, you have this and that, and you know, you still have so much to learn, and you know, you wish that you would have learned those tools in school, and probably you wouldn't have to get a second source of income, or I wouldn't have to get a second source, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Because we learned
how to manage
money. So
I remember in school learning how to write a check, but not learning that you actually had to have money in the bank to write the check.
Yeah, you gotta have money in there.
It's like, well, I got checks left, so isn't there money? I have checks.
Yeah, you could. It's gonna bounce. Here and there. So so that was really good. Yeah.
So we hope that you guys got some good little tidbits. I really love the envelope thing because that is something that really helped me a few years ago when I really needed to get serious with my budget.
And then we'll drop all of Tishawa's information in the comments, and if you need to reach out to her or whatever, you know, all her information will be in the comments. So
and if you have any questions and you want to put them there, we can always
refer them to her.
And forward them to her, your information, and she could find you on social media or whatever, and maybe you guys could connect. Or, you know, everything's social media today.
I know, everything.
It's like, well, connect on social media.
Be social.
Be social.
Socially unsocial. Whatever.
Something like that.
All right, guys. Thank you again. Cheers.
Cheers.